Thank you. It's nice to see the building that I supposedly work in the background. I haven't been there now in I think 9 months, and I miss it terribly. And I wish we could be doing this in person. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We're in the middle of prize season right now for the Windham Campbell Prizes. We announced this year's recipients 3 weeks from today. And we're going to be doing it this year by release of several videos. The first of which you're going to see today, which is more of a background video, a historical video about Donald Windham and Sandy Campbell. Before I show it to you, I'll just give you, for those of you who don't know the Windham Campbell Prizes, I'll give you a quick rundown of what the prizes are and where they came from. So we give out 8 prizes each year, and the prizes recognize accomplishment in the literary field, but also their main purpose is to give writers time to write. And to that end, each of the 8 recipients receives $165,000 to support their writing. We give out eight prizes per year, as I said, 2 in poetry, 2 in fiction, 2 in nonfiction, and 2 in drama. And the prizes were founded in 2012 after the death of Donald Windham, who left his entire estate to the Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library at Yale University in order to establish these prizes in the name of his partner of over 40 years, Sandy Campbell. So it's a really amazing award in that it's a gift from one writer to other writers, and it differs in that way, in that it's not a book prize, and we don't operate on kind of a contest structure. All the judging is done anonymously. All the nominations are confidential. Nobody knows that they have been nominated for the prize unless they actually receive a call from me. Or this year, for the first time, they got a Zoom conversation from me, which was actually very exciting experience. And actually, to be honest, it was calming to me. I find that the stress of calling people on the phone to tell them is very high, and actually getting to see them face to face was quite a relief this year. So this video that I'm going to show you is a short 2-minute video about Donald Windham and Sandy Campbell that we've produced in anticipation of this year's prize announcement. And on March 22nd, we'll have another set of videos come out announcing the winners, and we'll have short biographical videos on each of this year's prize recipients. So I'm going to bring that up right now. I hope it works. We did a test before and it seemed to, so I need to share my screen with everyone. There we go. And bringing up full screen, turning on captions, and play. And Michael, you'll let me know if you don't hear anything, right? Okay.
One autumn day in 1942, a young writer from Georgia named Donald Windham visited the studio of the artist Paul Cadmus. There he met another young man, Sandy Campbell, who was sitting for a portrait. This was the start of a love story that would last nearly 50 years and the beginning of a shared life devoted to reading, writing and friendship. Donald and Sandy became pioneers in life and in letters. Donald wrote memoirs, novels, plays, short stories and a children's book long before everybody wrote children's books. A key moment in his career was when he and Tennessee Williams collaborated on the play You Touched Me, which premiered in 1945, starring a young Montgomery Clift. The play earned Donald enough royalties to focus on completing his first novel. He recognised immediately how significant financial freedom is for a writer. It was a lesson he would never forget. Sandy was a Broadway actor who also penned book reviews for The New Yorker and contributed to Harper's Magazine. In 1965, Donald's novel, Two People, was attacked by critics for its groundbreaking gay content, and he lost his publishing contract as a result. Out of love and artistic admiration, Sandy subsequently devoted himself to publishing and championing Donald's writing. Both men saw the struggles faced by writers to get words on the page and to pay the bills. They believed art should not be compromised by commerce. When Sandy died suddenly in 1988, he left the money he'd inherited through his family to Donald. Heartbroken, Donald decided to use the money to create a prize in Sandy's honour. The prize, according to his will, would allow a writer to pursue his or her writing without having to be concerned with outside support. It is in this spirit of love and generosity that the Windham Campbell Prizes are given by Yale University each spring. Since 2013, dozens of writers of prose, poetry and drama from all around the world have received the call, telling them they have won a sum which will change their life and free them to pursue their work. This freedom is the legacy of a pioneering couple whose love for each other and for writing lives on through the writers they continue to support. Visit windhamcampbell.org for more information.
So one of the other important aspects of the legacy that Donald Windham left to the Beinecke Library. I see a chat here. Everything okay? Good. One of the important parts of Donald Windham and Sandy Campbell's legacy at the Beinecke Library is that he created an archive of his papers, his diaries, his letters, his notebooks, his manuscripts, as well as Sandy's book collection, which are all part of the Donald Windham and Sandy Campbell papers at the Beinecke. And the centerpiece, I think, of Donald's papers are his letters with Tennessee Williams, which they had a correspondence that lasted about 30 years. The center of Sandy's is actually his book collection, which is really a fascinating collection in that he was in the habit of purchasing books by writers he admired and then finding their home addresses and sending them postcards asking if he could send a self-addressed stamped envelope, including the book, and to have them sign, to autograph his copy of the book. And many of the writers to whom he wrote actually ended up writing back to him, and they had correspondences. Many of them are kept in the correspondence is actually kept inside the books, inside the collection at the Beinecke, which is a really unique way of storing them here. And rather than normally they would be sort of taken out and separated into folders and things. And this particular collection was kept intact to maintain the spirit of that. And I think that also speaks in a certain way to how Donald and Sandy operated in the literary world. They really admired artists. All of their friends were artists, and many of their friends were some of the most important and famous artists and writers of the day. Tennessee Williams, obviously, being the most famous of them, but they were very close with Truman Capote, who designed the spiral staircase in their Fire Island beach house. They were very close with Montgomery Clift, Joseph Cornell, Paul Cadmus. The list kind of goes on and on and on. So it's really this kind of fabulous New York artistic social circle from the middle part of the last century. And so I thought for this talk, what I would do was show a little slideshow of one of my favorite pieces from the archive. So I'm going to share that and bring it up. So just give me 1 second. All right, where is it? Sorry. There we go. Is that? No, that's not showing you guys anything though. Sorry. All right, sharing. Where did it go? There, no, is that it? There it is, okay. Okay, and I'm gonna go full screen here. Oh, that didn't work. What happened? That's the wrong thing. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'll get this fixed in just 1 second. That's the thing. All right. Can everybody see a red book cover there? Okay, beautiful. All right, I'm going to try and bring that up to full screen now. There we go. All right, good. All right, so this here is called Kate Greenaway's Birthday Book for Children, and it's a book by a famous Victorian illustrator of children's books, Kate Greenaway. And the idea of the book is that it is a calendar that runs from January to December of the year, and it contains little poems for each month of the year. And then on one page, and then on the opposite page, you can write in the names of your friend's birthday so you can remember when to send them a card or send them a gift each year. And so Sandy kept this throughout his life. And so you'll see as we go through, there are birthday pages for family members and so on and so forth. But what I wanted to show you was just all of the sort of fabulous, famous artistic people who sort of passed through their house and signed the birthday book. But so this is the cover here. You can see it's kind of a beaten up leather cover. And then as you go inside, you have one of her illustrations. And there's the cover page there. And then Sandy's oh no, I guess he got this in 1960. I hadn't noticed that before. So so as we go through January, I have it organized, throughout the 12 months. I'm not sure I have every month represented, but so here I selected this page because you can see George Balanchine, the famous choreographer, is in here. Donald knew Balanchine through his work at Dance Index, which he edited for a year or two during World War II when Lincoln Kirstein had been sent off to war. And many of his important friendships were established there, George Balanchine being one, another Tanaqua Leclerc, a famous dancer of the period, and as well as Joseph Cornell, who laid out the magazine I think it was each month that it came out, and whom Donald stayed friends with throughout his life. And then also in January, the writer Muriel Spark stopped by. February, you can see here in little tiny letters, Wystan Auden, as in W.H. Auden, the poet. A lot of these are poets. You'll see there's some really great poet signatures on here. So this one is interesting. First of all, I mean, obviously you see Tennessee Williams across the bottom there, born in 1911 on March 26th. But above this also is a name that you probably don't recognize, but it's a very important one for Donald Windham, a man named Fred Melton. Fred was Donald's first or one of his early boyfriends, and they knew each other where Donald grew up in Atlanta. And it was with Fred that actually Donald moved to New York from Atlanta when they were, I think, 18 years old. And they just came up to New York together to see what they could find. And it was, I think, through Fred that he eventually somehow met Tennessee Williams. Alice Toklas, as in Alice B. Toklas, there you can see on the left-hand side. I don't know why I guess we've lost the poems on the other side of the page there, so I don't know what the actual date is. Somehow they got Anne Boleyn on there. I don't know if that's actually Anne Boleyn's signature, but who knows. But this one is really great too. If you look down towards the bottom, you have warm hearts, ! Allen Ginsberg. And then next we have one of my all-time favorite poets, Frank O'Hara, down at the bottom of the page here, June 27th. I am a mountain daffodil, my color it is yellow. I think the whole world must agree. I am a handsome fellow. Great poem for Frank O'Hara. this page, who do we have here? This one. I also need to thank somebody from the Beinecke Library, Audrey Pearson, who took all these photographs for me really on the fly last minute last week. So thanks, Audrey. And this is a page that she found, which I hadn't seen before. If you notice, E.B. White is included on this page, born in 1899, July 11th. He's the author of Charlotte's Web, for those of you who don't know. And then, of course, one of the most well-known and greatest American poets of the 20th century, John Ashbery, 1927. There's Truman Capote up here in September. Uncle Ted, who you all know. But right below Uncle Ted, you see Monty Clift. And then one of my favorite autographs here is the German actress and cabaret singer Lotte Lenya, who was the partner of Kurt Weill, who wrote the Three Penny Opera along with Bertolt Brecht. Now, Lynn Fontaine was an actress, and I don't know if you remember back in the video, there was one of the first photos of Sandy is of him on stage making eyes with this beautiful blonde actress, and I believe that's Lynn Fontaine, and she and her husband were extremely important Broadway personalities, actors, producers, etc. During that period in the 40s and the 50s, and they were very close to Sandy. Here we have somebody Leclerc. I don't think it's Taniquil, so I'm not sure who that is. But Paul Cadmus is a key figure. The very important mid-century artist, but also important for Donald and Sandy, in that he was the artist that was painting Sandy in that painting you saw in the video at his studio when Donald and Sandy first met. So a very key figure in their lives and in the history of the prizes as well. And I think that is my last slide. It is. So I will stop the share and come back and bring back. So we're back to normal site here now, it looks like. So that's good. So it's really fascinating to go through this archive and just see, who all of these people are that they were, hanging out with. But they were also quite close. Montgomery Clift was somebody that they maintained contact with for many years. And I think one of the more poignant pieces that I've found in the archive is a postcard that if you know the story of Montgomery Clift, he had this sort of perfect face that was wrecked in a car accident. And it required all this surgery. And then late in life, he really fell, deep into alcoholism and drug dependency and died quite young. And he sent Donald and Sandy a letter not long after he had his car accident, where he's living in Southern California and he's, just living on painkillers, and he's really sad. And it's really one of it's a very short letter, but it's one of the kind of most poignant and sad things that I've read in the archive. And there are also kinds of interesting letters with other famous writers, with Thornton Wilder and with Thomas Mann and with, Carl Van Vechten, who's another sort of, key figure in Donald Wyndham's relationship with the Beinecke, in that his executor, Bruce Kellner, was the person who introduced Donald and Sandy to the former curator of the Yale Collection of American Literature. And it was their relationship that sort of developed into his trust in a place like the Beinecke to be the caretaker of his archive and of this prize.